What's up, YouTube? It's MythBro, and welcome to the very first ever casted game of Age of Mythology Retold. We are here on the beta, and I've got a very special guest here in the casting booth. What's going on, Drongo?
Oh, mate, how good is this? We're here on Retold, and we are having an absolute blast. The very first casted game, the inaugural, the one. Get to it. Fitz, who have we got today? I'm liking the names of the suspects that we've got here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm more excited about the game or more excited about these players. We've got, in the color blue, playing as, this is Loki from the Norse Pantheon. We've got Taco Hunter, and everyone likes a good taco. Taco Hunter, beware if you are a taco. And on the other side of the map, we've got it in the color red. We've got Krusty Prawn, the Krusty Prawn, and he is playing as Poseidon. Starting off with some berries, which if you've played any Age of Empires game, probably isn't the fastest of gather rates, but you know, you gotta eat what you gotta eat.
You gotta eat what you gotta eat, Fitz. And I can't help but feel like this guy has got to be a fan of Bikini Bottom. With a name like that, the Krusty Prawn, you know, there's no two ways about it. He's got to be a SpongeBob enjoyer. I think that's definitely the case. And the question's going to be, are we going to see him come out victorious today, like we've seen the Bikini Bottom crew? Or is he going to be going down to the might of the Taco Hunter?
Taco Hunter's already raiding him with his scout, the Berserk. As we see, already a name change from the OG game. He just activated, actually, that spy ability. So if we go over to Taco's perspective, you'll see he's now got a little line of sight there in the base of the Krusty Prawn. And we got to call out, I know a lot of people were wondering, would there be auto queue in Age of Mythology, and what would that look like? And it appears to be that there is auto queue, in fact, for your town center for villagers, but there is not a military auto queue, but you can enable it for lobbies if you're somebody who likes that.
So my suspicion with that, Fitz, because I don't know, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
Yeah.
So if you're playing in ranked, you're not going to be able to do auto queue on military buildings. But if you're playing a skirmish game, maybe you're playing up against the AI, then you will, in fact, be able to do auto queue on that building. So I think that's a good thing, right? Like, it's going to help people bridge the gap. You know, maybe you jump into an AI game, and it's your first time playing RTS game. So now all of a sudden, boom. You know, it's not as hard as it should be.
Yeah, absolutely fun.
Slowly build those skills that you need to actually make the jump across to ranked modes.
Yep. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how the community takes it, but overall, I think it's going to be a positive. Now, Taco Hunter, he's building a temple. In Age of Mythology, you're going to need a temple to age up to the second age. So he's got his temple, he's got his food and gold. Now, unfortunately, the observer UI leaves a bit to be desired so far. When you click on things, you can't necessarily see what's happening in the buildings all the time, or we're working with what we got, but we trust hopefully it gets better over time.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of things I'd like to have fixed up, and it's the way I see it, Fitz, is like they're very simple things. Like, as an example, you know, we've got Loki on the left side. At least I've got Loki on the left side of my screen.
Yeah, me too.
Poseidon on the right, and yet Poseidon has spawned on the left side of the map and Loki on the right side of the map. So it can be a little bit confusing because you're looking at the top there at those numbers, but it's actually for the other player. So I'm sure things like that will get ironed out. It's going to take some time. Obviously, we're in the beta at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not going to be.
At least we have an observer mode, because I don't think we did when AoE4 beta came, or even the launch came out.
Yeah, I mean, we did have an observer mode. It's just, I don't know if you'd really call it that. It was very bare bones. So this is, at least, it's almost like there's a bit of Capture Age inspiration in this one.
Yeah. What? I'm just watching this villager take out the zebra. Now, look, talking about the resources at the top of the screen, maybe if you haven't played Age of Mythology before, coming from AoE4, some different looking resources there, and really the only difference is going to be, you're not going to have stone, you got your food, wood, gold, but you've got this lightning bolt, and that is favor, and every civilization is going to get favor differently. So, for example, the Norse here that we're looking at here with Taco Hunter, he gets favor through battling. So as he fights with his heroes or his infantry or whatever, he's going to battle, and then that favor will go up. And where on the other side with the Greeks, they get favor by praying at their temple. So they actually task a villager to gather favor by praying at the temple.
So Fitz, can I ask you a question? Because I'm originally from Age of Empires 3, and I've noticed that a lot of these villagers, they're doing walking as they're dropping off their resources. Is every civilization like this? How do I play Age of Empires 3 style?
Well, in this beta, not going to be a good answer for you, but the Atlanteans actually are a drop-off point where you don't need to build drop-off buildings. So, like, you see a lot of these players actually are doing long walking, but Yeah, you want to build drop-off points with the Atlanteans. They automatically do it kind of like a villager from AoE 3. So that might be the civ for you, Drongo.
I think that's a good call, because as you mentioned, I'm watching Taco Hunter at the moment. He's on the hunt for tacos. We can say that much. The only issue is he's also hunting for gold and wood, but he's doing it long distance. A civilization like the Atlanteans that don't have to drop off, I can see that being
OP.
a big advantage for players.
OP. Well, it's trade-offs like everything, but I don't know. We'll have to wait to see, because we don't have Atlanteans yet. Maybe they force them to build drop-off buildings in Retold. Who knows? Because there's certainly going to be some things that are different, but we will see. Now, by the way, I noticed Taco Hunter has queued up like 100 villagers, so it doesn't look like he is actually using the auto queue system. And it might be a matter of they might not know about it or may not have turned it on, quite possibly.
Yeah, I think this could be the case, because you don't actually have to. When you start the game, there's two options. The first one is to start auto queue on vills as soon as the game starts.
Yeah.
And the second one is for your subsequent town centers. So if Taco Hunter was to build a second town center, auto queue would be on by default, but it's not on for that main TC, which is why we see him queuing up so many vills. And Krusty Prawn's doing the exact same thing, but we only see 2 vills in the queue at the moment, so keeping it under control.
I'm trying to highlight these myth units that popped up. So in Age of Mythology, every time you age up, you choose a minor god that you want. So depending on the minor god you choose, you get a different myth unit unlocked. So for example, for the Norse, we've got this troll, where on the south side for Poseidon, he's got the Cyclops. And they're able to use that basically just free unit as you go through the ages, which is quite nice. Oh, my rec is kind of frozen here. Is yours still going?
Mine is also frozen. I'm at 657.
Oh,
and it's
mine is caught up. Okay.
Mine. Now I'm at. What are you
7.
at, Fitz? Okay, I'm at 704.
Okay, we're doing good. But yeah, mine froze for a second there. But anyways, it's all fine. It's a beta. I got really nervous there, but the Cyclops looking gnarly out in the field. What I'm nervous about is like if the player's performance or whatever like will affect the caster mode or something. Yeah, but I don't really know how it's going to end up working.
Yeah, I'm curious how the netcode works for it. I remember back in the days with Age of Empires, it was very much based on the player that was giving you the replay. So if you had a replay file from a certain player, you'd inherit their settings, like you'd get really sensitive, on the mouse. So I'm curious to see how the devs go about handling it, but hopefully we get a pretty...
We got our first battle coming up. The Cyclops moving across the field. And we'll see how that goes here as he moves around. A very small wall there for Taco Hunter. Left his flank exposed, but here we go. Let's see what happens as the Krusty Prawn moves in. 3 archers and a Cyclops. Not sure that's going to be enough to take out the Norse today, but he's going to go for it.
Yeah, we've also got the troll here on the backside looking to come through. Taco Hunter's troll. But manages to force the enemy away for the moment. He's going to have to head off on down to the south side, and kind of curious to see which direction he looks to take from here. One thing to note, though, is we've got the Krusty Prawn, who's saving up a lot of resources and could be looking at heading up to Age 3 shortly.
Yeah, that definitely looks like what's going on. You're right. And I did want to note, you can't see it in the UI, but myth units, they've got like a special ability, and this special ability, it's by default, it will auto-activate, but you can also choose to turn that off, the automatic abilities, and then manually trigger it, almost like a MOBA if you choose. That's too much micro for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to be microing my myth units to that level, but a cool, I guess, new ability they gave users in Retold.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's one of the things, or at least one of the themes that I've seen for Retold, is that they are definitely improving usability and how easy it is to pick up these sorts of things, right? Like, if you were to think as an example, back in the good old days, you have to individually press all of those little keys, whereas now they just automatically cast for you. So it's great that they're bringing it to the masses, in a sense.
Yeah, I'm checking out the relics on the map. We've got the Anvil of Hephaestus. I can't say his name. Hephaestus, which gives armory improvements, costs 50% less gold. Like, that's got to be an S tier relic, right?
I think that probably is an S tier relic.
50% less gold.
This and armory techs really make a big difference, because that's 10% for each one that you're getting. So it can make a huge difference, and 50% is an insane number as well.
And then there's a relic somewhere that gives you free gates, so...
Yeah. We do like the free gate relic. It's definitely a bit of a meme. Whenever we see that one, it's always a contest to avoid it as much as possible, isn't it, Fitz?
Yep. Okay, so Norse has got an army going on. I keep wondering if that age up's going to happen from Krusty Prawn. He looks like he's got the resources. Let's see what he's got. A very this guy must play Anno or something because his base is like perfectly square. Look at this.
This is a nice looking base. Now, Fitz, if we could just quickly talk about the relics again, have a look at this one on the top left side of the map. I love this.
What is this?
Left side.
The sledge.
Called,
you say that one.
Svadilfari's sledge. There you go. Nailed it. I love this one. So it removes the favor cost of fortress type buildings. So one of the issues that you have going into the mid game is you spend a lot of your favor on units. So myth units typically, and you forget to leave a little bit of leftover favor to get that fortress in, and you need the fortress. It's important.
Well, you need it to age up in Retold. You got to build your fortress in order to age up. So if you spend all your favor down, and then suddenly you've got the res banked, like you might not be able to age up. Which for some civs, like for Norse, for example, right? You can't just farm your favor without going into battle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So some civs have a cap on how much favor they can get realistically, and this sledge actually gives you a lot of opportunity in the game because now all of a sudden you can go and put a fortress on every gold mine if you want to. You're not by that favor. So who knows whether we see players look to try and pick that up and take advantage of it. But
now,
at this stage,
speaking of that favor, there's another way you can use it. We talked about myth units. We talked about building the fortresses or migdals. You can also use it to reactivate god powers, something new and Retold. All of these god powers, they can be used as many times as you want, but of course that comes with a cost. For example, you can see he's casted Spy. If he wants to use Spy again, it's going to cost 60 favors. Very expensive for a Spy, but later on maybe you want to use Meteor multiple times or have multiple Sons of Osiris. Certainly a possibility. And with some civs, some of those god powers may be a little bit cheaper and more obtainable. Maybe you want to cast snakes multiple times during a battle. So that's another way you can spin that favor down. Oh, age 3.
Definitely. Yeah, age up coming through now for the Krusty Prawn. So he's looking to slowly add to that shell of defense. Yeah, look at that. So going up with the, was it Dionysus? Dionysus?
Yep.
How do you pronounce that?
That's correct.
We've also got, by the looks of it, he's going to be bringing Hippolyta online. Fitz, I'm going to need help with the pronunciation of these, by the way.
I'm going to need help too. They're going to have fun with those in the chat. Oh, but look at this. By the way, I want to note, I really like how far out we can zoom in this observer. Like I can put in the middle of the map and I can see both of their armies staged, really see what I want, and then I can zoom in as I want to and get that level of detail. And I think that's really, really nice. You can zoom really far in or quite far out to see the whole battlefield.
I love that as well. It's really, really good. But have a look at this, Fitz. We got ourselves a bit of a battle about to unfold.
Let's see what happens here. We got on the back line throwing Axeman. Takes some shots. Cyclops yeets the Berserks out of there. 2 of them flying away. They retreat behind the walls. Now that's an invisible gate. So, but he looks like he didn't finish the gate. Oh boy.
Yes. Now one of the things that we can see, he's going to use his god power. Be the bronze god power, and that increases his armor significantly, turns the units bronze, and naturally you can see Taco Hunter on the retreat, looking to avoid any further damage to the armor.
Look at that Hydra. He gets another head as he gets his kills. So pretty cool. That was a nice epic battle. We had several myth units, a lot of infantry. Norse, I think, wasn't quite prepared. Didn't bring enough tacos to the front line. Was going to be retreating. He's still in the second age too, so a bold move. Look at the Cyclops. I love when they throw units.
It's so good, isn't it? It felt like he was holding onto that unit for a while and then finally let it go, because I didn't see him pick it up. But yeah, one thing to note is that god power is now going to be used on the other side. Yeah. So we've got Taco Hunter throwing down a little bit of a what do we got here?
That's the healing spring. Did you notice if you don't change perspective, you click on it, it just says like, what's it say? Yeah, the attack revealer.
Yeah, that's what I clicked it. I'm like, well, I don't think that's the name of the god power, but anyway, Fitz, how's your attack revealer going?
Yeah, so he is healing right now. This is the healing spring. It's of course you want to put this defensively because your enemy can capture it. So this is something that if he loses this, his location, his enemy could take advantage of it. But he really needs to think about getting up to the next age. Look, he's still in the second age. He's training up some trolls. He just lost a good chunk of his army. He looks like he has the res to do it. but just exploring. Of course, as you can imagine, your very first time. I mean, this is our first cast. This is probably their first time playing. Who knows if they've even played Age of Mythology before, but they've gotten pretty far already. I feel like these guys have played a little bit of Age of Empires or Age of Mythology.
Oh, Fitz, there's no kidding ourselves right now. I can tell you these guys are experienced. Watching Krusty Prawn play, he knows what is up. I mean, now, one of the things to note is he's just hit Castle, Fitz, so he's unlocked a whole bunch of new units.
Yeah.
No, did I say Castle? It's not Castle.
It's heroic age. Yeah, we'll get used to that. You know, between us playing AoE 3, AoM, and AoE 4, we're never going to get that right now.
Yeah, you could call it the Fortress Age if you like. I'm sure they wouldn't.
Fortress Age. And that Hydra's got 3 heads on it right now, so he is ready to go. But kind of sitting back, he won that fight, I guess, against the Norse. Norse is healing up, but still sticking it out. I can't believe he's not aging up.
So Fitz, with the Hydra, so it's a myth unit, and as it fights the enemies, it grows more heads. What do the heads do? Do the heads have more damage?
I think it just stacks more, like, for whatever damage it does, like, he gets another, like, attack on that. I think is how it works. I'm not sure. I'm, like, looking at the stats page on it right now, how it reflects that. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. You can, like, pop open into, like, the big screen on it, but yeah.
So if you hit the little eye, you can. So if you go down, if you select the Hydra and hit the eye,
it will. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah. So.
But I don't know if we'd have to just watch it as it grows another head to see how the stat changes. But that's basically it. It puts out more damage the more it gets kills and grows additional heads. And then we've got the trolls over here with 2 heads. I guess that's an upgrade though for them. So they've been upgraded. He needs to. Someone needs to age up. He's migrating up to the north side. Now, for the Norse, if you haven't played Age of Mythology before, they build these ox carts that kind of move around the map as a mobile drop-off point. And you can drop off any resource at it. Compared to the Greeks, they have to build, their lumber camps, their granaries, etc. for drop-offs. So a little bit different way, a little more nomadic in nature.
Yeah, I like this a lot. It reminds me of the Mongol in a way. I think one of my favorite component of this is you don't actually have to set it up.
Yeah, I like it better than the Gur in that way.
Yeah. And I was just complaining about the Gur in my most recent Age of Empires video and talking about how difficult it is to use that unit. And now all of a sudden you've got the ox cart, and I feel like this is such a simple way to have the unit. Like, they should just do this for the Gur. It's so much easier.
Well, and it's funny, we talk about like, oh, this is like the Mongols. It's like, no, the Mongols are probably like the Norse.
You're right. Like, what was the original release date on AoM? It must have been, 2004?
I don't remember. Yeah, okay, I got to Google it because I've forgotten the exact. I actually, funny enough, have my original Age of Mythology CD in my office right now. 2002, October 31st, 2002.
31st. There you go. That is a long time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember playing it for the first time. This is actually, Age of Mythology is the first game I ever played online. I had dial-up, and I think it was like on one of my birthdays, I got access to the internet. And I was like, I'm going to try turning on the dial-up, whatever, and then launching Age of Mythology. And I played, and you know what? We talk about lag or whatever. I remember it being like slow, but you adjust to the times, right? Like, I can only imagine going back and playing on that now.
Yes, everything you had to wait at least a second for everything to actually move. It was a different time back then.
I just loaded in like 12 AIs, and I would just play them until like my computer lagged to a halt. Pretty much is what it would do.
It sounds like a decent plan for a weekend. If it's a little bit of a comp stomp, definitely don't mind that. But speaking of comp stomps, have a look at this on the north side. We've got Taco Hunter, who's treating his enemy like a comp by stomping him with a little bit of a hill fort.
Yeah, he's got his first hill fort. He did get up to the 3rd age, and he also has a mountain giant, which is the myth unit he got with his age up. These things are really awesome. Big club, obviously a big tanky myth unit. So he's got his hill forts. That's going to allow him to train another group of units for the Norse. And meanwhile, Krusty Prawn going for like the onion defense here with his walls, slowly expanding. And let's talk about the settlement for a second. So you see Krusty Prawn's gone for a second town center. And in Age of Mythology, this is really important to, especially in the late game, for your total pop. So you don't have, like, both players don't just have access to the same amount of pop space. By adding settlements, you increase your pop. How many does it increase by? Do you know?
I don't know the exact number, but it's one of those things where it's like you shouldn't even have to think about the exact number, just you want it.
Yeah,
like,
you need them.
It's especially like really quite affordable as well when you consider it in the scheme of things. Like compared to Age of Empires 4, it's a lot cheaper to be adding in those TCs.
Yeah, so and the thing that I really like about it is, you know, you talk a lot in Age of Empires games about like the late game getting stalled out and people just turtling in their base with passive res. We're looking at you, English. But the thing that I like about the whole settlements giving you pop space is like, okay, well, if blue decides to stay in his base, red takes these 2 mid-map settlements, and suddenly he's got more pop space, and so you might have a better economy, but he might be able to just have more troops to throw at you, and that can really snowball. And I really like any time an RTS rewards using the map, and I think depending on how these maps are designed, that's going to be really impactful.
Yeah, I got to agree. I think any time... Like, look, don't get me wrong. I'm a big turtle guy. I love turtling. I love staying in my base and doing that kind of stuff and breaking out, you know, having that explosive intro onto the map, I think is really, really good to have. By the way, Fitz, we got an Imperial Age coming through soon. Oh, sorry, an
Mythic
Age 4.
Mythic Age.
Sorry, Mythic Age. It's going to take some time.
I think we need to have, like, flash cards. I show you, like, a Roman numeral and it'd say what age it is.
All right. That's Fortress Age. Well, okay. So we've got an Industrial Age coming through shortly. So let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of unique things are going to be available in the 4th Age?
Yeah, so we're looking at the Norse going up to the 4th Age. It looks like the Greeks up there. You actually have to change around to see if they're changing. But yeah, for the Norse, let's see, what is he aging up with? He's going up with Hel, which is the goddess of the underworld, and that's going to unlock the Fire Giant. So the Fire Giant and the Frost Giant and the Mountain Giant, even though he already has it, and then it also has upgrades for all of those giants as well. And then, of course, another god power you're going to see. Does it actually not say it on the tooltip? It does not, but I believe that gives you access to Nidhogg, the dragon.
Well, Fitz, look, we're talking about god powers. Check out what's happening right
the trees are alive.
The trees are alive with the sound of music, my friend, but not for long. As the sound of
that didn't last very long. Yeah, I think if you're going to use the Walking Woods, that's what we just saw activated there. By the way, it costs 150 favor if he wants to use it again. You want to probably pair that with some units, so just like throwing it in there on its own. By the way, these Greek walls are sexy. Look at those things. Damn, I'm zoomed all the way in on these bad boys. Those are good. I don't even know if that's their final form.
You know what they remind me of? Do you remember the final form of the Aztec walls in Age of Empires?
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me of that. Like, they are good-looking walls, aren't they?
You know, so you mentioned Aztecs, and it piques my attention because we know there's an expansion coming. They've basically already announced that the Chinese Pantheons are coming. But people have wondered, like, okay, we know those are on the way. What will be the DLC after that? And I feel like Aztecs, some Native American civs, very likely could be something we could see.
Well, they're so popular, right? And normally one of the things that you see is, like, devs will go after, like, I know, like, Civilization, if you've ever played the Civ games, they specifically make civs that are going to be from popular regions of the world. Yeah. Like, they made Canada, they made Australia. But the Aztecs, right, like, there's not a huge population in that region, and yet they're still so popular. So I feel like it's a no-brainer to me.
I just watched these villagers getting slaughtered on the north side by this Hydra and the Greeks. But here we go, big battle in the middle. This could be the biggest one we've seen yet. And there we go, God Power activated. Nidhogg's coming on down. He'll be shooting flames from the sky, but gotta watch out. That fortress was taking some shots at him. And so the Norse, I think, could clean this up. Not to mention, we're looking at the fact that the Greeks are still in the 3rd Age. Poseidon's run away. I mean, he's the god of the water. There ain't no water here.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be tough right now for Poseidon to hold. The numbers are looking overwhelming in favor of Taco Hunter. He's done well today and manages to take out that Hydra. Now going to start looking towards the fortress, FitzBro. This could be game.
I thought I was watching the House of Dragon here, and I saw Nidhogg going after the Pegasus.
Hold on, Fitz. The Krusty Prawn has advanced to the Mythic Age through the nation of Artemis.
Yeah, he's got a Chimera coming out. Yeah, he's also have Earthquake available, but Earthquake isn't a great defensive god power. Like, where he is right now, he doesn't want to use Earthquake. That would crush his own base.
There he goes. The Earthquake is blocked.
What is he?
Absolute insanity right now.
What is he doing? He just Earthquaked his own base. Oh, This might be a case of him just not knowing what the god power does, but that is certainly one move.
I feel like I'm watching Game of Thrones right now. Look at this Nidhogg on the south side of the map, just doing so much damage to these villagers on the wood line.
Oh my gosh, this is what, like, I've been so excited for Retold, and this is why. Because, like, from casting this is so much freaking fun. We got dragons flying around, we got trolls, we got earthquakes happening. Like, there's so much action, so much variance.
Now, Fitz, here's a question for you. This Nidhogg that Taco Hunter's got, can he take this back over to his healing spring and heal up the Nidhogg even though it's an air unit?
You know, I really don't know. And not to mention, you know, everything's different with Retold, so maybe yes. I'm going to say no. Typically, god powers, you're not able to heal, but I don't know. Can a god power heal another god power?
I feel like that is, that's an unknown, but the defense towards the top side of the base is looking pretty solid here. He's got a whole bunch of Peltasks that he's bringing through. These guys have got these beautiful red robes on them, Fitz.
Yeah,
are they going to be able to counter what units are being made here, though?
Yeah, the Hippopis, those are going to be particularly good against infantry, which, of course, there's a lot of here for the Norse. You know, I turned my music down. It's, like, still, like, just so loud, but whatever. I love it.
It does get pretty loud. We can also see some militia out now as well. So the buildings are starting to go down, but
oh yeah,
I fear it might be a little bit too late. You know, how are the militia going to defend against a dragon?
They're not going to. Actually, we see Nidhogg taking out the tower. Oh, villagers getting caught in the fire. He just roasted like 7 or 8 vills.
It's not looking pretty. Have a look right now at the villager count at the top of your screen. You can see that Taco Hunt is well and truly ahead. 33 up against 18.
Yeah, you know, 33 villagers at about the 26-minute mark. That's where we want to be, you know. And what we're seeing there is a unique thing of Poseidon. When Poseidon loses buildings, they get these militia that come out to fight, which is kind of nice. Particularly makes Poseidon a little bit immune to rushes because you have a militia that come out if you kill a house. But with that, that's going to be GG. Taco Hunter is going to be victorious. Kind of a, I would say, a little bit of a comeback. He was an age behind, got crushed early on. Crusty Pond turtled up, but Nidhogg just really brought the pain. And then I guess, I don't know what happened with his government, but they earthquaked their own base. And with that, everything just started to go south.
Yeah, that was a bit of an interesting strategy, wasn't it? Earthquaking your own base, but you know, you got to test it. Maybe who knows? It could become meta. We'll have to wait and see. But I suspect probably not, Fitz.
Yep. Well, with that, that's going to be my very first caster game of Age of Mythology Retold. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And of course, there's going to be many, many more to come. So if you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment below and go check out Ozzy Drongo's channel. I'm sure he'll be uploading plenty of Age of Mythology content there as well.